In this video, I'm going to be talking about the dreaded avian flu in backyard chickens. I'm going to be talking about the symptoms to look out for, and later on, I'm going to also be talking about how to prevent it from spreading. Hi there, welcome to Happy Chicken Coop YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us today. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also be sure to subscribe to the website, thehappychickencoop.com. If you subscribe using the link in the description, you'll receive a free ebook on the 10 best egg-laying chicken breeds. All right, without further ado, let's get into it. So in recent days, the U.S. Department of Agriculture has identified instances of deadly bird flu in the U.S., putting the poultry industry on high alert. In December of 2014, the bird flu, also known as Avian Influenza or HPAI-H5, had spread to the U.S. for the first time since 2004. This is a worrying time for many backyard chicken keepers, with many people unsure how to best care for their chickens during this time. So I went ahead and put together all the latest information on bird flu. Last year, by the way, just so you know, 49 million chickens were culled in 2022. All right, so let's dive in. What is bird flu, also known as avian influenza? It's a viral disease that affects wild birds, captive wild birds, and domestic poultry. This includes backyard chickens. There are two forms of avian influenza: low pathogenicity, or LPAI, and high pathogenicity, HPAI. The most common low pathogenicity avian influenza is mostly harmless, and infected chickens react with general flu or cold-like symptoms. Highly pathogenicity avian influenza is highly contagious and kills approximately 90% of all chickens that catch the disease. In December 2014, bird flu, primarily the H5N2 subtype, was detected in the US, and since then it had resulted in the death of nearly 50 million chickens and turkeys. Now let's talk about bird flu and how it spreads. This outbreak in the US was likely caused by migrating waterfowl droppings. However, bird flu can be spread through many other forms. North Carolina State University wrote, "The AI virus is most often transmitted from one infected flock to another by infected birds, people, or equipment. The virus most often spreads from flock to flock. This happens when infected birds are moved to a new location and mixed with healthy birds, i.e. chicken auctions. The healthy birds then infect other healthy birds, spreading like dominoes. The other way bird flu is commonly spread is through clothing and shoes. Bird flu can live in manure for up to 100 days. So any clothes with contaminated muck on them can spread to healthy flocks weeks or months after. Since the U.S. poultry records began, HPAI has been identified in the U.S. 4 times: 1924, 1983, 2004, 2015, and of course last year, 2022. Each time it has been quarantined and eventually removed. There is no reason we won't successfully eradicate it again. The good news is no human illness has resulted from avian influenza in America, but what does it mean for your backyard chickens? So, can bird flu affect your backyard chickens? Absolutely. They can, affect it drastically, which would likely result in them dying. Your backyard chickens are genetically different from the large commercial farms wiped out due to bird flu. So, what are the bird flu symptoms? One of the difficulties with bird flu is that healthy chickens can be infected and show no initial signs of carrying the disease. This means that chickens appearing healthy can spread the virus, and you wouldn't be able to identify the healthy or infected chicken visually. However, once a chicken catches highly contagious pathogenicity avian influenza, they will likely be dead within hours. Mike, the chicken vet, writes, "You can check your chickens in the morning and they appear fine, then come back at lunch and some of your chickens have died. Then by late afternoon, the majority of your chickens are dead. It's that fast and that severe. The only way to confirm if your chickens have avian influenza is a laboratory test. Most states are currently offering this for free. Head over to USDA to find your local testing lab." With that being said, some of the most common symptoms include a general decrease in roaming and activity, the blueness of the head area, reduction in their appetite, wet eyes, excessive flock huddling and ruffled feathers, fluid in the comb and wattles, decrease in egg production, coughing, legs bleeding underneath the skin, sudden death. If you notice any of these symptoms with your chickens, be sure to quarantine them immediately and make sure it's proper. This will help prevent the disease from spreading to any of your other chickens. So now let's get to the meat and potatoes, how to stop your chickens getting bird flu. While it's not possible to 100% prevent your chickens from catching it, there are several preventative measures you can take right now to help protect your girls in the case of another outbreak. Number 1, restrict wild birds. The most effective measure you can take is to stop wild birds from contacting your chickens. This means you shouldn't feed any wild birds or do anything else to encourage them to stop by. If you feel you have to feed wild birds, do so as far as possible away from your chickens and make sure to change your clothes and wash your hands after feeding them. As also previously mentioned, bird flu spreads through migrating waterfowl droppings. So you can add a roof to your chicken's pen to stop any droppings from falling into their pen. I haven't added a roof to my pen because the chance of droppings falling into a chicken pen is minimal. Number 2, run a tidy ship. To prevent your chickens from getting bird flu, you need to make sure you are keeping a clean chicken coop. To do this, you need to 1, keep your feeders and waterers clean and don't give wild birds access to those. Number 2, thoroughly clean any piece of equipment you use with your chickens. This is shovels, rakes, etc. You can use Virkon S. This is a disinfectant that is used to control the spread of avian flu. Number 3, clean up any feed spillages so you don't attract wild birds. Number 4, each week clean the coop out thoroughly and disinfect it again. You can use Virkon S for this. And lastly, number 5, have dedicated clothing and footwear you use when handling your chickens. Make sure not to wear this clothing and footwear anywhere else but around your chickens. This mainly includes not wearing it around any other chicken flocks. All right, number 3, to prevent avian flu from spreading, don't share equipment with other flocks. While bird flu is rife, make sure not to share or reuse any equipment from your neighboring chicken flock. This includes rakes, shovels, chicken troughs, or any piece of poultry equipment. This might seem excessive, but this also includes reusing any egg cartons from your neighbors or other friends who keep chickens. Number 4, limit visits and visitors. As an extra precautionary measure, during times of avian flu, you can limit the number of poultry events you attend. For example, last year, I didn't take any of my chickens to poultry events. I also limited the number of other chicken flocks I visited. If I visited other flocks or poultry events, I thoroughly washed my shoes and clothes afterward to avoid spreading the disease. Also, I have a limited number of people that visit my chicken flock just to prevent anyone from outside bringing the disease to my girls. Number 5, don't introduce any new chickens to your flock. As previously mentioned, during the early stages of the disease, you can't visually check if a chicken is infected. For this reason, when avian flu is going on, I'm not purchasing or introducing any other chickens into my flock. Yeah, you can quarantine new chickens for 30 days to ensure they don't have the virus, but I'm not willing to risk that during that time. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention list avoiding contact with other poultry as one of the best ways to preventing this disease. If you know the risk and still want to add chickens to your existing flock, make sure to purchase your chickens from a reputable dealer who takes hygiene and cleanliness seriously. But what if my chickens already caught bird flu? If you think your chickens already caught bird flu, be sure to contact the USDA immediately. This is the United States Department of Agriculture. As a responsible backyard chicken keeper, it's your duty to report it immediately and get professional help. If you don't report it, your chickens will only suffer an excruciating death. They should be humanely euthanized. Also, there could be legal repercussions if you don't report any instances of bird flu. Now let's go over some of the basic facts. What happens if I eat an egg which a chicken laid with bird flu? Chickens infected with highly pathogenic avian influenza don't usually lay eggs. However, if you did eat an egg laid by a chicken with bird flu, the World Health Organization reports proper cooking inactivates the virus present in the eggs. Can I eat chicken contaminated with bird flu? If you cooked the infected chicken so its temperature rises above 70 degrees Celsius and make sure no meat is raw or red, it should be safe to eat. However, I wouldn't eat a contaminated chicken. Are humans at risk of catching bird flu? In the US, no human illness has occurred due to bird flu. In other countries, people have died from it. The risk of the general public is shallow, and there is certainly nothing to worry about for the time being. As the University of Minnesota reports, contaminated chickens don't reach the consumer market, so you shouldn't be at risk of catching bird flu from chickens bought from Walmart. There remains a concern that the bird flu could eventually mutate to a point to where it could be passed from person to person rather than just from bird to person. As you can see, it's essential to do your part and report any instances of bird flu and remove dead birds quickly from your flock. Should I start my first flock now? If you want to get chickens and raise them, you should. Just make sure you purchase your pullets from a reputable dealer and follow the safety steps outlined and you'll be fine. If you found this interesting, please be sure to also check out this video over here where I talk about the other common illnesses or diseases that humans can get from chickens. That's going to do it for us here at the Happy Chicken Coop. Thanks for listening. If you find our content interesting, if you learned something new, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. With that, I hope you have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.